Once upon a time, many months ago, a group of strangers were looking for a place to live. They found something they could just about afford, so they made a deal. They would share the rent, sign the lease, and become flatmates. Once they moved into their new lodgings, a nifty arrangement was devised. Cat was to carry out the shopping, Mouse would do the admin and pay the bills, and Sausage was responsible for cooking. During the following weeks, everything ran smoothly. The flatmates got on well and shared a lively meal together every night. But we're never quite content with how we live if we think we can live better. One day, as Cat was going about his usual shopping spree, he bumped into an old acquaintance whom he hadn't seen for years. They reminisced about the olden days and chatted about their present lives. Cat talked about this dainty little uptown flat he was sharing with a mouse and a sausage and how they shared all the tasks. The old friend listened intently, eyes narrowing, pausing for dramatic effect. Finally, he sneered, "You're such a mug." Cat reacted with incredulity. "Look at yourself, you're doing all the hard work while they're taking it easy. They're taking advantage of you, mate." Cat thought about it. It was true that every day he had to catch 2 different buses to the out-of-town supermarket, carry out all their shopping, stand in queues, unload the groceries, and sort out the recycling. Whereas Mouse worked on the admin duties for an hour or so, took long naps, and played Xbox for the remainder of the day. And Sausage simply spent time pottering about in the kitchen, keeping an eye on his broth. If it needed seasoning, he jumped into the big casserole and wiggled about. If it needed more flavouring, Sausage would swim more vigorously, but he'd never even leave the house. Later that evening, because of a bus strike, a tired Cat walked all the way home with the shopping and placed it all on the right shelves. The flatmates had dinner, listened to music, and exchanged trivia like every other night. But Cat couldn't quite stop thinking about his friend's remarks. He looked at the other two with a newfound suspicion. Eventually, he stood up and declared, "I'm not doing any more shopping." The other two were astonished. "You've taken me for an idiot. I'm doing most of the work here, going all the way to the supermarket and back, sorting out all the food, going back and forth to the recycle yard, while you two just hang about the house all day." Mouse protested. "But this has always worked out for us." "Well, it's not working out for me, but it suits our skill set." "Oh, you would say that, Mouse, wouldn't you? Hanging about all day, barely moving a muscle while I break my back." They argued and argued, but Cat remained steadfast. Eventually they gave in, and after much thought they redistributed roles. The next morning, Sausage was sent on a shopping expedition. Mouse was now firmly in charge of the kitchen, and Cat controlled the admin. The books were done, sort of. The dinner was almost ready, but there was no sign of Sausage. They began to worry, so Cat went out to find him. The supermarket was closed. It was dark and foreboding, and Cat nearly gave up trying to find him, until he spotted his little trilby, followed by parts of his jacket, which led him to a bystander. Cat asked, "Excuse me, have you seen my friend? He's sort of long and curvy, medium build, bulgy eyes." The dog thought about it and retorted, "Oh, yeah, I ate him." Cat exclaimed in dismay. "What? Ate him? How could you?" Dog replied, "Well, he was delicious." Cat could not believe his eyes and ears. "I'll report you to the police." This is where Cat realised arguing was futile. Later that evening, Mouse reacted to the news with similar dismay. They were devastated, but decided they must carry on. So they redistributed tasks. Cat laid the table while Mouse went into the kitchen to finish the broth. She remembered how easily Sausage flavoured the broth by swimming in it, so she did likewise. But something went wrong. The broth was extremely hot, and Mouse suddenly remembered she couldn't swim. Cat announced that the table was laid. He saw the dead mouse floating in the big pot and panicked. He swiftly tried to remove the pot from the stove and accidentally set the tea towel on fire, which set his trousers on fire, which led him to fall down the stairs while trying to escape the blaze. The fire services came to the rescue and managed to stabilise things, but it was too late for Cat. He succumbed to multiple injuries, and later that night he died in hospital. And thus ended a friendship between a mouse and a cat and a sausage who were looking for a place to live.